everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. In this video, it's a little bit of a product demonstration. These are 25mm laser cut wood bases supplied by Game Envy. Picked up a whole bunch of these. I think you might have seen a few on the channel before, but these are sort of that wooden decking effect, much like a boat. And what is this that I've been painting? It is Rox, the Model Box Fox from Model Box, and this one was Captain Rox. He's a pirate, and I want to replace that temporary base I've put him on. If you don't know Game Envy, they are the creators of the hobby holder. That you can see that product here. You've probably seen me use it a whole bunch, and they're extending their range, and they make these 3D bases that are incredibly easy to paint. So I'm going to stick it on my hobby holder, and then going to be using some dirt splatter by the Army Painter. It's one of the darkest browns I have, and I'm going to be using this to base coat. You can see I'm using my 3-4 year old infinitely old regiment brush here because you just need to. I've watered down this paint a bit, but I'm basically just smashing it onto here. Not by all means, it doesn't want to be super thick, but there needs to be no accuracy in it. I'm just applying an even coat over the whole wooden base, and it's going to slurp it up because I haven't primed it here. After that, I'm going to take Survivor Shader. That's a black wash Null Oil by Citadel, but as you always see, I'm an Army Painter boy here. I've got their washers, and I am very, very happy with them. So I'm going to apply that very, very generously on top of that, and just really let that seep in to all the grain or fake grain, and it is wood as well. It's wood pretending to be wood, and get that in all the gaps between the decking. I'm going to use Army Painter's small dry brush next, and I'll just demonstrate what I'm doing because this video is not going to be particularly long. So if you're not used to dry brushing, I'm going to take some more dirt splatter now that Survivor Shader has dried. I'm going to get some on my dry brush. I try to keep it on one side of the dry brush, especially at the beginning, and then I'm going to take off as much of that paint as I can. Do not water down the paint, do not make it any wetter than it comes out of the pot, and then remove as much as you can from the brush, so there's basically no paint coming off of this. I'm then going to lightly scrape that across the grain of the wood and just sort of catch it. So all the raised parts, I'm just going to be filling back in those colours, filling back in that original dirt splatter on all of the raised bits of the wood, so make the planky bits look lighter, and the darkness is going to stay in all of the recesses of the wood. And I'm going to do this quite a few times because I want to generously reapply that dirt splatter, just bringing it back up to the base, really just trying to leave that shade in those recesses, so the bits between the planks and any of the grain, any of the deep grains that have been cut out by this laser engraver, laser cutter. It's a wooden laser cutter. If you guys haven't seen this or tried any of this, you just, first thing to do, you've got to smell the wood. It smells amazing once it's been freshly cut. After I've done that, loads and loads of coats, bringing that base color back in, I'm going to step it, brighten it up with Leather Brown by the Army Painter, and it's going to be the exact same process. I'm going to put some on the brush. Now I'm using both sides, but I'm making sure it's in all the bristles, and then taking off as much of that as I can. So you can see it's getting less and less paint. And then I'm very, very, very lightly going to catch this one across. And it's going to take a couple of coats, but this time I'm aiming to catch even less than I did with that base coat. That dirt splatter was quite generously reapplied. You can see the planks look a lot browner, and there's just a few bits of that Survivor Shader poking through in the deepest recesses. And then I'm going to even more lightly apply this Leather Brown, just catching the very most raised parts of those planks. Going to do that a couple of times, just really softly catchy monkey. And then for a final highlight, I'm going to use Army Painter's Goblin Skin. It's quite a yellowy brown. It's probably closer to yellow, but I'm going to take off nearly everything. There's hardly anything on the brush, and I'm just going to really gently catch, especially around the rim of the base, the edges. And this is just going to be a very light coat, maybe once, maybe twice, repeating this process. Just, you've got to really judge this sort of thing by eye when you're dry brushing and get the look that you want, I think. But this is generally what I'm doing, and each time I'm make sure there's less paint on the paintbrush, and my strokes are just getting lighter and lighter. And this one's a lot more purposeful. I'm sort of aiming it to some extent, maybe catching 1 or 2 planks as I go along, and just giving a little bit of, wood isn't even, it's different colours, different planks will be slightly different shades, that sort of thing. And that's it. After that, I'm just going to use dead black, any black, and just paint around the rim of the base, and that's just going to bring the focus back to the top of the base, but giving it a nice polished finish around the edge, so it looks like it's been purposeful. It looks very, very neat and well done. And with that, we are completely finished. I've glued on Rocks the Model Box Fox and added a splash of gold nuggets by Gatehouse Gaming UK, which I get in those model boxes as well. And that is super quick, super easy, and I think it looks fantastic. What an improvement to a plain base that makes, and it's 5-10 minutes work, that sort of thing. If I was painting Rum Bones or any game with a load of models that I need to quickly improve the base with very little effort, this is what I would recommend. Links are in the description below with a discount code as well. I'll also obviously have the paints like normal, things like that. Thank you all very much for watching.